Thursday, February 29th at noon. Last year, we honored iconic local Black media personalities, including Pat Harvey, Jim Hill, Mark Brown, Beverly White, Sandy Banks, and Pat Prescott, and raised $20,000 in scholarships. This year, we're honoring Black Hollywood creatives who have used their artistic genius as climate justice champions. At this year's luncheon, we will be showcasing and sharing their inspiring work on our big screen. Plus, a scrumptious meal, live music, great company, and lots of fun with your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts. So contact us today at info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. That's info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. We hope to see you Thursday, February 29th as we close out Black History Month. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Hey Zoe, I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
Today we're talking about emotionally unavailable psychology, and this is going to be building off of what we talked about yesterday and over the past couple of videos as we've started to unpack this topic of emotional unavailability. But I want to really get into this because we did talk about this in the Q&A of one of the previous videos, but it's kind of important, so I want to really lay it out here as its own separate video. And that is, what exactly is driving emotional unavailability? What exactly is happening that explains the behaviors of emotionally unavailable men and women? And kind of how is all of this playing out? So as we talk about this, the important thing to keep in mind is that emotional unavailability is predominantly centered around the idea of idealism or perfectionism in a relationship or in a partner, right? It's about more of a fantasy, more of an ideal, rather than actually being grounded in what may or may not actually be happening in reality. And that's the key difference between emotional unavailability and availability. But we'll get into this. So Also, I'm going to be talking about the dynamic between emotionally unavailable people, and I'm going to be using the terms emotionally unavailable man and emotionally unavailable woman. These terms are not exclusive to men or women. These can happen, in the reversed way. These can happen in same-sex situations, and so on and so forth. But in order to keep things simple, because 9 times out of 10, the emotionally unavailable man behaves like the man that I'm going to describe in this situation, and the emotionally unavailable woman behaves like the woman in this situation. So without having to elaborate and put 100 asterisks on all of this stuff, let's just kind of keep this understanding moving forward so that we can all be on the same page about all this. So let's talk about the emotionally unavailable man. And then we'll talk about the emotionally unavailable woman, then we'll talk about the dynamic and all that. So the emotionally unavailable man, he is overwhelmed by choice. He is dealing with that paradox of choice that we talked about in the previous video. And there are a lot of reasons for this, of that being smartphones, dating apps, internet culture, access to higher numbers of women and all of that due to all of said things that we just talked about. But the emotionally unavailable man wants to be with the perfect woman. And any single guy probably has some idea about what the perfect woman might be like. But the emotionally unavailable man is unwilling to settle for anything less than the perfect woman. And, like with anything else, there is no such thing as a perfect woman. There's only us mortals out here who are far from perfect in many ways. And so he is unable to find the perfect woman. And oftentimes his idea of a perfect woman is usually just based off of like the positive qualities of several different people that he knows, of several different women that he's maybe met in his life or seen on TV or in movies or something like that. And he's kind of put them together into some kind of mental construct of a perfect woman. And so he's out there looking.
Ladies and gentlemen, the VOR back in the building on a Wednesday. It's Valentine's Day, or as I like to refer to it, Melancholy Day. The VOR is back in the building. How's everybody doing? I got a great topic tonight, and you know what's crazy? Let me just say it again. I love the listeners. My goodness, you guys are so on point. Once I started to ask people to send in their topics, my email is flooded with topics. And on a spiritual note, the topics choose me. I don't choose the topic. It's a similar feeling that I used to have when I used to go to a famous bookstore here in Los Angeles on Melrose called the Bodhi Tree. It's the spiritual bookstore, candles, books. They had two bookstores there. I met Sidney Poitier in there. I met Andre 3000 in there. It was the spot, if you were on your spiritual grind, right? So I would go in there not knowing exactly what I wanted in terms of a book. And I would allow the book to choose me. Man, the topics are choosing me now, and I appreciate you guys for sending them in. If you want to send in a topic for me to cover, please, by all means, email me at VOR, as in voice of reason, VOR106 at gmail.com. VOR106 at gmail.com. The reason why I chose this topic today, and I chose it around 3 p.m. this afternoon. Now, that's late for me. Normally, I'll have a topic up and running by 12. But I didn't have a topic. And I was having a conversation with a bartender at the local cigar lounge where, you can find me, right? So I'm at the cigar lounge, and the young lady was saying to me She said, "You have an unapproachable energy." I said, "What?" She was like, "Yeah, man, you're very guarded and insulated and isolated." And she was like, "Now, there have been times where I've seen you come out of the cave." They call the chairman's lounge a cave now because I'm usually the only one in there. And said, "I see you come out and you'll interact a little bit and then you'll go back in the cave. And for the most part, most people forget you're there because you don't really interact." She said, "Your energy is isolated and insulated." She was like, "You do not come across as available." I said, "What?" Now, this is stuff, I mean, I'm self-unaware in that way. And, I can acknowledge it, right? Young girl, like 30, beautiful, 5'10", chocolate, gorgeous, just got there. And she was like, "From what I can see, everybody has positive things to say about you, but you're like a ghost in here. Your energy is not easily accessible." So I was like, wow. And then I went to my email and I was like, there it is. Here we go. That's what we gonna talk about tonight. So, and of course, I jumped in with 2 feet. And I got a legend in the building. Yeah, I've got a legend in the building. This is a voice of reason legend. Have you noticed that I rarely bring on male clinicians? Now, I brought on 2 male clinicians, and they were white. They happen to be some of my best friends. Dr. Mark Goulston. Love him. Rest in peace, Dr. Mark Goulston. And my other friend, man, Dr. Alan Berger. Brought those 2 guys on. But for the most part, it is just Dr. Jashana Johnson, Dr. Sunshine, Dr. Pakoya McCall, and of course, we're going to call her Doctor tonight. Dr. Delana Zimmerman is back in the building, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited. We're about to cook. Tonight's topic is fire. Listen to this topic. I'm single, but I'm spiritually unavailable. Oof. What does it mean to be spiritually unavailable for intimate relationships? I've got questions. Los Angeles, I need to hear from you tonight. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. Of course, this is a non-judgmental space. All perspectives and opinions are valued here. What does it mean to be energetically/spiritually unavailable for intimate relationships? What does it mean to be spiritually unavailable for intimate relationships? What's the difference between being spiritually unavailable and emotionally unavailable for intimate relationships? Can you be spiritually unavailable while being emotionally available? In other words, the superficial stuff, the sex, the Netflix and chill. Can you be in your spirit disconnected from a person that you just passing the time with? 1-800-920-1580. What are the signs of being spiritually unavailable for intimate relationships? How does being spiritually unavailable affect your ability to form deep connections with others? Can being spiritually unavailable be a defense mechanism to protect oneself from emotional pain? 1-800-920-1580. How does one become spiritually unavailable for an intimate relationship? You know what? I'm not going to give you a piece of my spirit. I'm going to sequester my spirit from this interaction. Is that even possible? 1-800-920-1580. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Get to your phone lines. I want to know what you think about tonight's topic. How does one become spiritually unavailable for an intimate relationship? When we come forward, me and Dr. Delana Zimmerman, author, speaker, television show host. Oh, yeah, she's all of it, man. She's a star, the whole nine. She's going to cook with the rarest grease. When we come forward, the discussion begins.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough.
Do you have both Medi-Cal and Medicare?
If so, the new LA Care plan called Medicare Plus can help you get the most out of your health plan for $0.
LA Care provides personalized service to Angelinos like us.
Plus, it gives us access to doctors and specialists across Los Angeles County.
For zero cost, we get access to full benefits.
From vision coverage,
In-home support services,
to prescription drug coverage,
And a quarterly over-the-counter allowance.
plus personal equipment.
Meal programs.
a gym membership,
And so much more.
for more than 25 years,
LA Care has provided Angelinos with access to quality health care at an affordable cost.
For our families,
our seniors,
our community,
it's a plus.
it's a plus.
for all of us.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Alan Robarge, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Welcome to the New Love Addiction, where we're not talking about addiction, we're talking about attachment injuries and healing attachment trauma. On this video, let's talk about emotional unavailability as it relates to delayed responding. So we're talking about a response, having someone respond with a delayed reaction. So this example that I'm giving, it's very subtle. We are breaking down very specific behaviors. We could say, you know, the big picture, the big theme that we're looking at is what is emotional unavailability? How does a person continue to practice ways to reinforce staying disconnected, staying distant, staying avoidant, and withholding emotional warmth, emotional connection towards another person. Now, oftentimes, if you're on the receiving end of this is incredibly confusing and it's crazy making, especially if these behaviors are not absolute. The behaviors, sometimes the person is emotionally available, sometimes they're not. That, in fact, is what we would recall an ambivalent attachment. And an ambivalent attachment is come here, stay there, don't get closer, come here, back off. And we're doing this at the same time, and it creates very much internally for the person who's doing it. They themselves are confused, but also if you're on the receiving end, you're getting a lot of mixed messages. So the very specific...
Yikes! It goes down like that. The voice of reason. Exclusively on Tavis Smiley's KBLA Talk 1580. Let me tell you this. We've got your black. Trust me, I'm up in here ready to get in. This topic is crazy tonight. I'm single, but I'm spiritually unavailable. What does it mean to be spiritually unavailable for an intimate relationship? Now, in the realm of intimate relationship, there exists a radical concept that challenges conventional notions of availability and connection. I'm single, but I'm spiritually unavailable, is that intriguing phrase. It speaks to a deeper dimension of human experience. On tonight's show, we will delve into the meaning of being spiritually unavailable for an intimate relationship by examining its clinical, philosophical, psychological, and social implications. Through detailed analysis and thought-provoking questions and examples, we will explore the nuances of this concept, aiming to enlighten, inspire, and provide a balanced perspective. In the building, Dr. Delana Zimmerman. Miss Zimmerman, what are your thoughts on this concept of spiritually unavailable? And how do you differentiate it from being emotionally unavailable?
Thank you for having me.
Oh, always.
When I was thinking about, I was listening to everything, and what's coming up for me that I truly believe creates spiritual unavailability is disappointment. There's a deep disappointment, but it's not the first time that the individual has ever felt this disappointment.
Listen, don't talk to me about my life. I gotta stay professional and run a radio show, and you want to come in here and peel the onions back on my spirit.
Right away.
Right away. Wow, disappointment.
It's disappointment. It's we don't grow up learning how to metabolize disappointment. We don't know how to neutralize it. It is something that we become avoidant of. Disappointment happens very early in childhood. Disappointment happens with your original relationships. It happens with your mother. It happens with your siblings. It happens with your father. It happens very early on, and it is the worst feeling ever.
Wait, let me just stop you. I grew up with a mother who was, I don't want to say she was avoidant, but after I was born, she had a nervous breakdown and had to go on psychotropic meds. So she wasn't available.
She was probably emotionally unavailable. This is not an uncommon thing for Black mothers.
Right. So
period. It's from this plantation.
You see, my mama wouldn't hug. She would tap you on your shoulders. It wasn't a hug. It wasn't an embrace.
So you see where the disappointment started?
That's what, and I say when I was 30, I started to recognize that all my siblings were really disappointed in my mother. And I just something in me said, forgive your mother for not being whatever you thought she was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did that, our relationship shifted.
They had known her in a way until you came along.
Right. Oh, come on.
Their disappointment was different from yours.
Right. Just in my life, I started moving and doing and music and TV and I just said, you know what? I'm great. I'm good. And I attributed that to her. And I said, hey, Mom, I love you. You got us here. And in my spirit, I was like, and you wasn't all the way there. And you got us here. No drug addicts. Nobody went to jail. You did the best you could do with what I freed her of that while the rest of them couldn't.
It was all you knew.
Come on. Talk to me.
It was all you knew. That version of love was all you knew. And so maybe your siblings had another version of your mother, and it changed. So their disappointment is for other reasons. And so this deep disappointment plays out in other relationships. We experience disappointment. If we're going to be in a relationship with human beings,
we're going to be disappointed.
We're going to be disappointed. Oof. And that's fine. Because I think the guy who was talking earlier talked about being in relationship with the ideals of people, the ideal of people, and who they actually are.
Right.
And so mostly our disappointment comes from idealizing people, idealizing men, idealizing women, idealizing friends, parents, lovers, governments. It doesn't matter. We have these ideals or fantasy of what people are going to be or should be to us or what they should provide to us. And so there's our disappointment.
Here we go.
The ideal, the actual person.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Dr. Delana Zimmerman. She's on The Voice of Reason cooking. She got the rarest grease up in here. Listen, when we come forward, don't be afraid. Call us. We got callers on the line already, but don't be afraid to call. 1-800-920-1580.
He's on fire tonight. It's The Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. At least one person is dead and several people are injured after a shooting at the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade. Kansas City Police Chief Stacey Graves said 10 to 15 more people were hurt in the incident. Graves added 2 people have been arrested. The mayor of Kansas City said the White House called to offer any help. It's not yet known what led to the shooting. No team personnel were injured. Baltimore City Mayor Brandon Scott is using federal COVID relief money to purchase a pair of hotels to house the homeless. Mayor Scott, who is black, announced the city will pay $15.2 million to buy the Sleep Inn and Suites in Holiday Inn Express along North Front and Gay Streets near the south end of the Jones Falls Expressway. The Baltimore Board of Estimates will consider the deal next week, which includes paying more than $3 million to the seller to manage the hotels. The money comes from the American Rescue Plan Act. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
If you like using debit over credit, shouldn't you also get rewarded? Well, now you can with Discover Cashback Debit. It's a checking account that rewards everyone with cash back on everyday purchases with no fees, period. Check out eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashbackdebit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do Black history every single day. In fact, As the only Black talk radio station west of the Mississippi, we are Black history. Our annual Black History Month luncheon is fast approaching, and we want to be sure to give you ample time to get your company, organization, church, or group to join us at this year's celebration on the last day of the month, Thursday, February 29th at noon. Last year, we honored iconic local Black media personalities, including Pat Harvey, Jim Hill, Mark Brown, Beverly White, Sandy Banks, and Pat Prescott, and raised $20,000 in scholarships. This year, we're honoring Black Hollywood creatives who have used their artistic genius as climate justice champions. At this year's luncheon, we will be showcasing and sharing their inspiring work on our big screen. Plus, a scrumptious meal, live music, great company, and lots of fun with your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts. So contact us today at info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. That's info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. We hope to see you Thursday, February 29th as we close out Black History Month. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your Black.
LADWP is proud to partner with KBLA to share with you how to start the new year without bill worries. We're here to help if you're behind on your bill or need help staying current. Sign up anytime online for Level Pay to set predictable monthly payments throughout the year, including for past due amounts. You can also check out the special extended pay arrangements of up to 48 months to help pay down your bill. If you're a senior or income qualified, you may be eligible for Easy Save to receive discounts and also qualify for free and discounted energy and water saving devices. You can get up to $15,000 for past due water and or sewer bills and up to $3,000 for electric bills. But you gotta act fast. Funding is limited. You can reduce your past due bills and kick off the year right, because here at LADWP, we're here to help. Visit ladwp.com/cares today and find out more.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
If we're the ones disproportionately impacted by these climate catastrophes, why should we be silent? Turning up the volume all year long on the climate conversation for KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chucha's opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chucha's Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Just had a fight with my woman over something trivial told. We rarely have confrontation, and if the I said really was bold. I think she get it from my mama. Her bitterness passed down from old. When I'm calling out her drama, she too defensive to listen, I'll call so. Look in it, I got problems. You got the type of advice that I need. I couldn't get through on the mention series. Dana was hogging up the time that I need. Between working or being so clingy, plus the time zone difference don't make it more easy. Oh, so I figured I'd call in early, turn my life down, mercy, I got through. You tuned in, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So just lay back your mind, something new. Everybody tuning in the soul, cause he is reason, yeah.
So we're going to talk about 9 key tools that the DA really needs to be able to sort of get a handle on in order to really become much more secure. And these 9 key tools aren't in like any particular order, like to an exact sort of format, but they do generally tend to follow the format that is most beneficial for DAs. Some of them may interchange a little bit. So for example, you might think like 4 and 5 can sort of switch places, and that's totally okay. 2 and 3, things like that. So it's sort of the format I tend to see the most, give or take a little bit. Okay, so tool number 1 that's really important for the dismissive avoidant in terms of their stages of healing is getting to know oneself. Okay, this is like basically for all attachment styles, and this is really like needs and desires, but for dismissive avoidance, there's a particular emphasis on getting to know your own emotions. Ending the cycle of that sort of emotional suppression is our number 2. And in order to end that, we have to first get an understanding of what's going on inside of us. So we sort of can bridge those two together in the sense of you have to get to know yourself. What are your actual needs? What are your needs for healing? What are the things that are important to you? Do that introspective work for number 1. And number 2, allow those emotions to be there. Start feeling your emotions again. I know this is a very scary experience for a lot of DAs because so much of your survival subconscious programming was built around not allowing yourself to feel. However, those are really outdated strategies in our adult lives. And emotions, you know, just because we feel our emotions doesn't mean we have to like express them in unhealthy ways onto everybody around us. We can feel our emotions, go inward and resolve like, hey, what's going on that's causing me to feel this way? Maybe I'm feeling insecure. And then I go inwards and I realize, oh, I've just been telling myself this story that I'm disliked by everybody in the room. Oh, that's why I feel insecure, because I'm storytelling to myself based on some kind of old wound or fear. And so, you know, emotions are this beautiful gift that allow us to go inward and figure out what's going on beneath the surface.
Man, it's getting deep up in here. Spiritually unavailable for a relationship, even though you're single? Oh, my goodness. Hey, Dr. and I'm going to keep calling her Doctor. Dr. Delana Zimmerman is in the building right now. To truly grasp the concept of spiritual unavailability, it is essential to understand its underlying components. Okay? At its core, being spiritually unavailable for an intimate relationship refers to an emotional and energetic state where one is unable or unwilling to fully engage in a deep, soulful connection with another person. It goes beyond merely being single or uninterested in pursuing a romantic relationship. Instead, it encompasses a profound disconnection on a spiritual level. Now, Delana Zimmerman talked about disappointment and the aversion to being further disappointed by engaging in these deep exchanges that connection brings. Delana, if relationships are ubiquitous for the human condition, how does one get around that?
Well, it would require people to have a knowledge of self. You know, most of us are just sleepwalking, believing that we are our bodies.
Keep going.
We came to this planet, our souls, our spirit came to this planet, grew a body, And we live in a world that teaches us where our bodies, the reflection of what comes back to us. And so we feel these feelings in our bodies. And so we're trying to avoid feeling these feelings in our bodies. So our bodies are governing our choices. Our self-centeredness is governing our choices. Our inability to manage our emotional nature is determining our choices, our peace, our ability to expand, our ability to connect, and to do what it is we came to the planet to do, was just to love.
Wait a minute, you're talking about a psychosomatic connection here.
Yes.
And so if we're feeling these emotions, if they are classified as negative, then when they transfer themselves from the psyche into the body, now they manifest as tension, as pain, as discomfort. So how do we untie those knots in order to feel in a healthy way? Because most people refuse to feel, especially if the fear is this feeling is going to hurt. Talk to me.
Well, there is no pain. It's not actual pain. It's an old feeling. It's historical. It's ancient in your body from your childhood. It's in your nervous system. I mean, it is stored in the brain incorrectly, like literally, like literally. So how? Your answer, your question was how. First, you have to wake up. You have to understand that there's more to you than your body, that there is a soul that exists within you, and there's a nervous system. There's a body, mind, spirit connection. If I don't know that, I'm not going to treat it. I'm not going to find it, and I'm not going to find a solution. I'm just going to go through life trying to avoid feeling negative emotion. But emotions, negative and or positive, are just emblems, indicators. It's just letting me know something is going on.
Check engine.
Check engine light.
Check the oil.
Gas light comes on, you say, hey, get some gas.
Check
engine light comes on, you say, woo.
Whoa, Lord, wait a minute.
Right, but it's still just letting you know. Go to the diagnostic machine, put it on the machine, find out what it is. It might cost you more than gasoline, but it's just information. Yes is fine. No is fine. I don't want to do it anymore is fine. I want to do it with you is fine. It's all fine. It's just letting you know what destination you're supposed to be at now. Relationships start and they end for one reason or another. Even if the ending is death, relationships start and they end. But you cannot have something with this person and then have that same thing with the next person, because there's only one of these people. So you have to give yourself an opportunity to say, what did this person come into my life to give me? What did I give them? If I'm not living, learning, and practicing in relationships, people come into my life to expand me, to teach me. What do I need to release? What do I need to grow? What do I need to evolve? I don't need to shut down and not learn myself. I can't know myself fully without the relationships of people. I am only going to be existing. I can't even be in my purpose.
Wait a minute now, because this reminds me of the relationship dismount, how to stick the landing when exiting a toxic relationship by Zoe Williams. In chapter 3, we talk about the cocoon. So how long should you stay in the cocoon processing what you just came out of before you transition to the next situation? If you've been in a 5-year relationship, a 10-year relationship, a 3-year relationship, how long should you stay in the cocoon, getting yourself ready by answering those questions? What did I learn? What did I give? What did I come into this relationship to receive? How did it change me? How long should you be in that cocoon?
9 months a year. I mean, just being liberal. I don't think we have enough time to be sitting around, licking our wounds or whatever, spiritually licking our wounds or therapeutically.
I mean doing the
our
work.
Wounds.
Yeah.
I'm talking about doing work, seeing myself. What I need to do, look and say, am I resentful? What am I resentful at? Where am I selfish? Where am I self-seeking? Where am I dishonest? Where am I afraid?
How did I show up?
How did I show up? How has my self-esteem been impacted? What did I want? What did I need? Was it unrealistic? Was I in a relationship with the ideal of the person? Or was I in a relationship with who they actually were?
Was I dating an image? Or was I dating the man or the woman? Oh, Lord, when we come forward, I promise callers, I'm going to get to you. But she cooking. She cooking.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
City of Los Angeles landlords that own rent-controlled properties, you are now able to increase rents by 4% for your rent-controlled properties. An extra 1% per utility up to 6% can be added only if you pay the entire gas and electric bill. And don't forget to give your tenant an advance 30-day written notice for rent increases of less than 10%. It is state law. Learn more about the rent increase at housing.lacity.org. That's housing.lacity.org.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the Black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, hosting community seminars with supporting Black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, in downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit lafla.org. lafla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Stay with me, and you will see my arms will hold you, baby. Never leave, 'cause I believe I'm in love. Sweet love, got me crying out your name. I feel no shame, I'm in love.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, my playlist is my co-host. Of course, that's the incomparable Anita Baker. Listen, man, it's Valentine's Day, man, and I know people want to hear the love music and feel all lovey, but I don't feel it right now. And I'm tired of my heartstrings being tugged. I'm sorry, Lord. Oh, Single Awareness Day. Okay, cool. I can do it, because goodness gracious. Whew. I swear to God, I think one of the first things I said when I got on the air here was our playlists last longer than our relationships. We will take the playlist that we've had for a long time, man, and take it to other relationships. The songs last longer, man. Gosh, okay, I don't want to hear Anita Baker again for another 6 years. Okay, here we go. We got callers on the line. Let's do it right now. Sean from Oakland, California, you're up first. Talk to me.
Oh, thanks, brother. Well, hello, Ms. Zimmerman. You're awesome. Great points. I just love this because, it's very important that we talk about this because so many people in relationships have difficulties, right? So my 2 cents on the emotional availability, right, and spiritual, like you said, Zoe, availability they're very similar. It's almost hard to discern the difference, tell the difference, right? But your approachability, right? And I think it has to do with ego. So I do agree with you that there is that discontent and the, but, the approachability, because when I've gone to these places where there's lots of, so-called entertainers and famous people, most of them in a party situation where everyone's kind of invited, they're totally approachable. But out in public, when they put them, and I get it, because you don't want people coming up to you with family is there and all that. But if you're just kind of out and about, to be approachable, right? But in a relationship, be approachable because you're not, the thing that the other person is going to take from it if you're not approachable is that you don't care about them. You don't, care what they think. And it may not be true, but part of that, I think, brother, is ego, because we don't want to let it out. Just let it go. Be open. Be open with people that you want to love you.
Oh, I like that, Sean. Sean, guess what you just did?
Brother, hopefully brought Oakland and everyone into the building.
Oakland is in the building. Listen, y'all be trying to come at Sean. Sean be dropping jewels. You know what Sean is talking about? He's talking about freedom of expression. And you can't do that from a fearful and egoic space. You suppress your expression if fear and ego are driving the ship. You know who said something similar to that? In a totally different context? It was Bruce Lee, talking about martial arts. His whole thing was freedom of expression. This is why he said, be water, my friend. He said, you pour water in a cup, it becomes the cup. You pour it in a glass, it becomes the... That's a level of freedom. To be able to conform without judgment to a particular situation. That's how you express yourself. I hear you, Sean, and I love what you're saying. Miss Zimmerman, what are your thoughts on what Sean said?
Well, fearlessness has to be a component of relationships. So it doesn't mean that you don't experience fear. It means that you practice courage or openness or empathy or compassion. You eat from the tree of love in relationships. So if my ego's there and I'm afraid, then I can't let you in. What am I afraid of? We talk about those original sins, right? I'm afraid that I'm going to cry. I'm afraid that you're going to reject me. I'm afraid I'm going to look bad. I'm afraid I'm going to feel bad. I'm afraid that you're going to believe that I'm not enough. I'm afraid that you're going to see that I'm not enough, the way that I feel about myself. So, yes, I love what you said. If I can practice fearlessness, which is a spiritual component, then I can have access to my emotion. My driving force is, it has to be love. I have to choose love. And if I choose love, I can have the difficult conversations. I can compromise, right? I can hear you be disappointed in me.
If I choose love, I can stand up to pain.
Yes.
Discomfort, disappointment. I can stand toe to toe with those things and not be overwhelmed by them.
They won't break you.
Ooh.
But this requires a management system. You asked me how earlier. I have to learn how to manage my emotions. I have to tell me I'm good enough. They love you. When that child gets triggered, when the nervous system gets triggered, right? When the vagus nerve gets triggered, I have to be able to tell me, have a relationship with my spirit to tell me I am safe. Because my body is acting. I have to speak to my body and says, we are well. I have to learn how to breathe. And I have to take my whole self, not my fragmented self from disappointment.
Come on.
Not my shattered self from not having a safe place to put my emotions. How long have you not had a safe place to put your emotions? What black man, where are you ever safe to lay your emotions down? I have to become the thing I need.
She's ministering to me right now, ladies and gentlemen. Is she ministering to you? The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580. Attila, Houston, Texas. Get in here. Attila, are you there?
Okay, sorry, y'all. I had a moment with the speaker. Good evening. Good evening. How are y'all?
Yeah, we good. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Man, this is heavy. Single but spiritually unavailable. I mean, I don't know. I kind of think that spiritual unavailability can actually be a protection in the wrong circumstance, right? You know, you talk about having what did the girl say, that you don't seem approachable? Well, you know, okay, so I'm a manifestor in human design. We're known to have a closed aura. I feel like part of that is due to a protective mechanism that when it comes to your anointing, you can't always share with everyone. I don't think this applies to everyone.
Hold on. You cooking. Wait a minute. Hold that thought. Attila, when we come forward, you done tapped into human design? I'm a manifesting generator. Uh-oh. When we come forward, it's about to get even deeper.